What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 64 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Today is Sunday, February 2nd, 2019. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, joined by my nose-picking co-hosts, Adam Tuttle and Melissa Pescator. Yo, they always try to trip me up when I'm doing the intro. In their
hey, we got you, though, at the beginning.
They're picking their noses. They're doing all this stuff.
We're not picking our noses. We're just scratching our noses.
Yes, touching.
Making swine-up faces.
Hey, we're getting ready for Community Day, okay?
What's going on, guys? Hi.
Hi.
How are you? How is everybody? How was your week?
It was
fantastic.
good.
Really? It doesn't sound it.
It was great. Still cold out.
It's getting warmer.
I mean, we really can't complain here in Jersey. I mean, it was fucking cold, but it was no, like, Chicago deep freeze minus 50.
Yeah, Terry was rollerblading with just his
his tidy whities.
Skimmies.
No, we got down to about 5 or 6 degrees, and with the wind chill, it was like negative 10 or something like that. But yeah, man, Chicago got crushed. Even upstate New York got a ton of snow too. But this has been a rough week for playing outdoors with Pokemon Go, at least in the Northeast and even some parts of the center of the country. But man, the polar vortex was brutal. But
it got us.
I actually got out and played today. It was amazing. I took advantage of the fact that Melissa hasn't left the house in like 3 days. So I was like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going. And she's giving me a side eye right now. Are you angry? Are you? Wow. Oh my God. She's shooting laser beams at me. Oh my God. My brain is melting. Oh my God.
I say nothing.
I know. The eyeball lasers say it all for you.
I love Pokemon.
I got... I went out. I think I did 7 or 8 Palkia raids today. Yeah, I was pretty excited to actually get out there. I took some AR photos, put them up on Instagram.
He was like, babe, I'm going out for like a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Didn't we get like a couple extra followers?
I did go out. Oh, yeah. We hit 500 followers on Instagram. Thank you, guys.
Yay,
That's so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. I only did go out for a few hours, Melissa. I was only out for a few hours.
Community Day, the 3-hour window is like a reasonable amount of time. But that's it.
Oh, I was only out for 2.5 hours. But then I came home, and then as soon as I came home, I was like, hey, I know I just came home for raiding, but I'm going out raiding. And then I went out and did 2 more. But she didn't come. She didn't want to come. She was the
it's
internet.
not that I didn't want to come. We had a sick child earlier today, so.
Yeah. She's gonna go there?
I'm just saying, someone has to.
Hey, he could have come too.
Oh, man. All right, little housekeeping really quick. This podcast is powered by Patreon. Please check ours out over at patreon.com/gottawatchemall, where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people.
It sure is.
And I want to give a huge shout-out to our show supporter tier patrons, Brittany J., Jessica, Keith, Matt, M. Pitts, Terry, David, Chris, Sydney, and Bacon L. Thank you guys so incredibly much. We appreciate it.
You guys rock.
So kind.
Very much. I just updated the Discord, too. I don't know if you noticed. If you're in the Discord.
Added like way more nerd channels.
Oh my God, there's extra nerd channels.
Way more shit to look at, more fucking things to keep track of.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I was just responding in one, and now there's like 15 other things that I have to go look at.
Yeah, like it's so unnecessary.
Hey, look.
Ken,
it's unnecessary.
Clean it up.
It's hyper clean right now. Now everything is segmented and separated and all that good stuff. Well, you know what? Eat my ass.
Wait, what?
On today's show, the Hoenn Celebration is finally wrapped up, and Niantic is not fucking around. They are continuing to give us events. I saw this really funny meme of, I think it was from The Simpsons, but it was like, how many days on the job site without, a catastrophic event or something like that. And someone had wrote over it like, days without an event in Pokemon Go. And it was, Niantic's office. And it was a guy taking down the number 1 and changing it back to a 0, showing that like there can never be more than a day in this game without an event going on. And it's almost to the point where these aren't events anymore. This is like just the normal shebang. There's just so much shit going on. And this week, was a deluge of shit happening in the game, and we'll break it all down. But check this out. Palkia is our new Tier 5 raid boss. There's new Gen 4 Sinnoh Stone Evolution Pokemon. There's new Gen 4 Wild Pokemon. The egg pool has been shaken up. The raid boss pool has been shaken up. Raids were rebalanced. Moves were rebalanced. The move pool has been updated for certain Pokemon. It's insane. Tons of shit. We'll unpack all that stuff as we go through the episode. I do want to get into a conversation here talking about the future of PvP in Pokemon Go and if it has the potential to become an esport or a spectator sport in some capacity and what it would need. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with a Palkia raid guide and battle party. But Adam, please break down the new Pokemon that are in this game, because Gen 4 is a weird one because there's so many evolutions and they kind of dripped us the first, 20 or 30 Pokemon over the last few months, and it's gone very, very slow. And then all of a sudden we had
They're like, bam!
Yeah.
Right in
Get
the
some
face.
Pokemon. Have some.
They're like, you asked for it? Well, we're giving it to you. But you have to update the game. Or close it and reopen it. Because me, sitting with my 100% Yanma, was like, sweet! Because Ken was showing me pictures of his Tangrowth and all this, and I was like, are you serious right now? So I went in and I just looked at my Yanma. I was like, new attack? Sure, I'll do a new attack. And I just watched my Stardust dwindle. And then I'm like, where's my Yan Mega Evolution button? I don't have it. Somebody in the Discord was like, hey, just restart the game. And so I did that, and then all of a sudden I could evolve it. But
no, there was a server-side push, so I mean, it kind of just rolled out.
Yeah, and so my game hadn't done that yet. So as soon as I forget who said it in the chat, but they said it, and I was looking through my Gardevoirs or my Curlias and stuff, and I just evolved into my Pokedex Gardevoir that was male, and same with my Glalie that was female. Just to have those in my decks before anything else happens, and I'm not allowed to.
Well, can you please break down the Pokemon that have been added to the game, though?
Oh my gosh!
Come on, man.
I've only caught one.
We got to deliver the news, man.
Actually, I didn't catch it. It ran on me. All right, guys, this is my 6th time trying to do this. All right, so you can evolve Lickitung into Lickalily. I'm sorry. Oh my god, these are all tongue twisters. Lickitung into Lickalily. Oh my. Okay. I didn't drink anything. I'm drinking coffee right now.
Wait, no, Melissa's gonna do it.
All right.
You try, Melissa.
All right. Well, I don't know what they're from. So, wait. Lickitung into Lickalicky. Okay.
Lickitung.
Into Lickalicky.
Tangela.
Into Tangrowth.
Yanma.
Into Yamaga.
Snorunt.
Into Frostlass.
As long as it's female.
Apom.
Into Ambipom.
Yep.
And Curlia.
Into Galilei.
As long as that one's male.
You have to say it like that. I don't know why.
Oh my god, that took so long to get through.
And then in the wild, we have the new fossil Pokemon Cranidos and Shieldon, which both evolve into, respectively, Rampardos and Bastiodon. Combee is now in the wild, and if it's female, you can evolve it into Vespiquen.
Combee's so cute.
And then there's Glameow, and that can evolve into Perugly.
Yeah, they're all really cool-looking Pokemon, and I kind of took this for granted because I always play with the game with no sound. But when the Gen 4 games came out, this is when they kind of made the jump to Game Boy Advance, I believe, right? So the sound effects in those games had a little bit higher fidelity. So the cries that you hear of the Gen 4 Pokemon actually sound pretty freaking cool because they're not like the really dry-ass basic, Gen 1 through 3. I mean, don't get me wrong, Munchlax is still stupid, but it's,
let's not
but
go
like
there.
when you hear some of the like Tangrowth and stuff like that, or even Licky, like, man, that sounds wet. Like, it's pretty funny. There's some really cool sounds, but this was unexpected that they kind of, I knew that new Sinnoh Pokemon were coming. We knew that this was still happening. And I mean, there's still some that are missing. The evolutions are still not here. Magnezone is still not here. So there's still other potential Sinnoh evolutions coming. But I was surprised that in addition to the Sinnoh evolutions, they gave us wild Pokemon as well. So that was kind of cool that they doubled up on giving us some new Pokemon. And, I think they're doing it right where they're making these new Pokemon exceptionally rare, because I've only come across one Combee so far, and that's it. I haven't seen anyone else.
But mine ran on me.
when I was out raiding today, there was actually another one that I ended up missing because I didn't feel like driving back to where it was. But there was only one out there today, and I was out for a couple hours. So it was like there just wasn't a lot going on. So I like that they're making them pretty rare. But the 5 Sinnoh Stones that are going to be coming to us on Community Day will be highly welcomed because I'm assuming that not everyone's going to use all 5 of those to evolve into Mamoswine. So you have all 5, and then you can kind of distribute them through Licky Licky and Tangrowth and everything. Now, before we get off the topic of Sinnoh Stones, I do want to bust Melissa's chops a little bit because look, we've been working hard at doing 3 PvP battles a day, trying to earn Sinnoh Stones because Melissa hasn't had any stones. So we do our matches. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? And she's like, "Shit, I didn't get any." And then she's scrolling through her inventory, and she's like, "Oh my god, I have a Sinnoh Stone." And she didn't even realize it. She's like, "All right, great. Let me try to figure out who I should evolve here." And Melissa, why don't you take it from here?
So I'm looking through and I'm, trying to figure out which is like the cutest one I want to do. And I was just like, all right, let's do the Electabuzz one. So I go ahead, I give the Electabuzz his Sinnoh Stone, and I'm watching it go through the animation. And I realize, wait a second. Where's the animation part for the Dex entry? Yeah, I had already done it.
Oh.
She was so pissed. It was so funny.
Like, what?
She just turned the phone, shows me the inventory screen with both the Electivires there, and she's like, turn the game off, play Candy Crush, that's it.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I get for not really like ever playing the game. But you know what? I did get my shiny Phoebus earlier in the day, so I wasn't like
shiny Phoebus from a raid she got.
Yeah,
that is lucky.
That's legit. So
I wasn't too upset.
Well, look, Electivire is actually pretty relevant, and you could also, that's good trade fodder. You know what I mean? If someone doesn't feel like, maybe someone else will fuck up also and have a duplicate somewhere, and it's like, oh man, a perfect match. But tons of new Pokemon in the wild. That was really cool. Now, this next thing I want to talk about here with the shakeup of raid balancing and moveset balancing, this is pretty in-depth, and this was very welcome. So
hold on, can I just butt in and say it was not welcome by me? Because
why?
I tried to battle a Togetic with 3 people today, and it took us failing like 4 times, and for some random people to just kind of like just pull up in a car and just be like, oh cool, there's 2 more people in there, in order for us to take it down.
Yeah, so tier 3, 4, and 5 raid bosses have been buffed. They're going to be a lot more bulky now, so I'm going to read the direct quote from the community notes that they published on the website. It says, quote, "A previous change to the super effective damage multiplier has allowed single trainers to win certain raid battles alone, even though this was not the original intent. The change will increase raid health for featured Pokemon in tiers 3, 4, and 5 raid battles." End quote. So what they're pretty much saying is they would never really wanted people to be able to solo raids, which is interesting because they're bringing this down to tier 3. So tier 3 raids are soloable by a lot of people. It doesn't really take an elite level trainer to solo a tier 3 raid. But now it seems like they're really going against the grain here and making it more challenging, which is good because that's just going to, as trainers, it's just going to make us better because it's challenging us. But, that like solo Tyranitar action that we had for a little bit, forget it. That is not going to happen anymore, even with weather boosting. And when they made the modifier, increased the modifier of super effective damage a couple updates ago, that's what they never made any adjustment beyond that. They just let the Pokemon do more damage. So this is really just a direct response to that increase in the super effective damage modifier, because these are obviously the Pokemon that you're using in a raid situation, and it just made raids easier because you had that extra modifier helping you out. So, it's not that they're making it harder, they're just scaling it up to be more in line with the super effective damage modifier that we saw before.
Well, it stinks because now you need a bigger group to take down Palkia.
Hey man, that's what raids are all about. Sorry.
Understand.
Sorry, rurals. It's that's the difficult challenge here, because that's the scope and the original intent, obviously, because they're pretty much calling that out, is saying, hey, we never wanted this to be a solo thing. We never wanted this to be a small community thing. This has got to be a larger scale. And I know that's what sucks for a lot of people because it's just not possible in their area. So I feel you on that, but it's interesting that Niantic is kind of taking a stand on that and saying, hey, this wasn't our intent, so hope you enjoyed it while you could, but now shit's going to be a little bit harder. All right, specific moves in PvP were rebalanced. This is, again, giving a little bit more of a difference between how a move will perform in raids and gyms and PvP. I like this because moves that were higher DPS but didn't necessarily benefit from a higher energy consumption or anything like that, it rebalances them to allow them to be just as effective on the PvP side as they were in raids. So I dig that a lot. But the really important thing here is they changed the moveset of specific Pokemon, so now when you get your second moves, you're going to have a significantly deeper range of options. And I'll put a link in the description that shows all the different moves that were added to the game and what Pokemon you can do them with. But there's a couple standouts that I really dig. Roserade can now learn Grass Knot, so now Roserade, being the highest DPS attacker, can now pair with the best move, so that's going to be really strong. Something like Muck can now learn Thunder Punch.
What?
And what I like about what I'm going to be linking here is they don't just tell you what move. They almost put a little narrative to it. And on this Muck, they say, Thunder Punch may allow Muck to apply more early Protect Shield pressure and counter Water-type Pokemon that currently dominate the Great League, like Azumarill. So they're pretty much telling you, this is going to be your coverage. This is allowing Pokemon to have a more fleshed out moveset coverage in PvP, and they're going to be specific counters that you're going to want to get for specific Pokemon. This is another awesome one. Ho-Oh can now learn Hidden Power, which will allow Ho-Oh to finally have a double fire moveset. So all these changes are happening, and again, look through the list, because you could have some favorites on here that are now going to have way, way, way better coverage in PvP, where their movesets would have sucked before because you could only get a psychic charge move and a psychic fast move. Now you might be able to get something that can be split it off and cover your weakness. So very, very cool that they did this. GoHub put together a link of all the actual moves that were modified. I'll link to that in the description as well. So definitely look through this, because this is definitely changing the landscape of PvP as we know it. And I just think that the more they tweak and the more they change, the better and more fleshed out the game is going to become, and the more balanced the whole experience overall will be, and giving you a consistent feel whether you're playing PvP or playing in the raid meta. It'll all be a little bit more balanced. So I totally dig it. And that kind of leads me to the next thing I want to talk about, was how the raid bosses have actually shifted again. And what was really weird, I think within a 24 or 48 hour period, the raid bosses were shifting around 2, 3, 4 times. There was all these changes, but seems to have stabilized now. Adam, if you want to run us through who our current raid bosses are, and there's some good ones in here.
Oh, I'd be delighted to.
Yeah, this is a good lineup.
Listen, we've got Tier 1 is all shinies except for Floatzel. We've got Magikarp, Dratini, which is a big one, because that's a good counter for Palkia right now. Swablu, Phoebus, and Shinx. Those all can be shiny. Then for Tier 2, we've got Alolan Executor, Kirlia, Sableye, and Mawile. And Sableye and Mawile can be shiny. Tier 3, you've got ya boy Alakazam, Machamp, Azumarill, and Granbull. Again, with the fairy attackers showing up because Palkia.
Yep.
And then Tier 4, we've got Alolan Marowak, Togetic, Ursaring, Tyranitar, and Absol, with Alolan Marowak and Absol being the shinies. Tier 5, we've got Palkia, and then EX raids, we've got Deoxys attack form.
Yeah, so I like how they're giving us the fairies. I like how they put Kirlia in there still to help with the Gallade evolution. I think this is a very, very balanced lineup. I like that they make the shinies very accessible. And, we talked about how great of an attacker Alolan Executor is on the dragon side in PvP, so there's a lot of relevant Pokemon, whether you're looking to do PvP or raid battles here. So it makes a lot of sense to go after specific Pokemon, which is cool because, if I have the availability to do a raid, I don't really give a shit what it is. I'm going to do it. But I have a lot of people that I was raiding with today that were really looking for a good Granbull. And it's like, man, it's not something you'd expect to hear someone say I got to go find a good Granbull today. It's just because they want to have that fairy attacker.
Wild Granbull today.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was right outside my house. It was a 15 attack.
Nice. Yeah, Palkia is an interesting one because it does require a little bit more of a larger group than it did the first couple days that it was out, and it's definitely an awkward and weird throw. It's definitely far.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
It's smaller than you'd think. Yeah, and you kind of really have to wing it, and it makes the circle lock a little bit more difficult because it's hard to pinpoint it on this one, for me at least. I was watching a Trainer Tips video. He was knocking out like 10 to 10 excellent throws. I was like, bro, this lines up perfectly with just like his natural arc. It felt so unnatural to me. Like I really had to like wing it. I was doing a thing where like you throw and like your finger just goes straight from front of your
and it goes
phone,
off
like,
to the side? Oh,
yeah, it's just like, God damn.
Yep.
Shit.
That happened to me in a few of them.
But I did 3 raids at EX-eligible gyms today. So hopefully I'll get a pass, at least in one of them in the next round. I hope so.
You'll get it.
The egg pool has also been rotated, and there's not really enough data yet to kind of know for sure what's in what, but they did shrink some of the egg pools. Silph Road has an ongoing chart that I'll link to in the description where like Aerodactyl is still listed in a potential as a 7K. It says unconfirmed, so things are as things are getting more data, they'll actually move it from unconfirmed to confirmed status on this page. So they're updating it in real time. So check it out, see where you can get with that. Now that things are kind of balancing out with PvP, and it seems that Niantic is really putting a focus on PvP, I do want to get into a conversation here that has kind of been bouncing around the internet. I know on the GoCast podcast, they were discussing this on their last episode. Trainer Tips was discussing it over his last couple episodes. But I want to talk about the viability of Pokemon Go as an esport, and not just as an esport, but as a large-scale potential spectator sport. So let's get into this as part of our PvP update. This PvP update is brought to you by the New Jersey Silph Arena, Jersey's premier accredited Silph Arena league. Visit njsilpharena.com for more info.
Once you step in the arena, cheetah, you're gonna be
All right, so what would it take for you to have interest in spectating Pokemon
Never.
Go PvP? All right.
Never.
All right.
Never in a million years.
Tell me why.
The only way it would, honestly, the only way that they could do it is you'd have to have the 2 doofuses standing on a stage and their screens projected on a giant screen behind them. And it would just be them either standing there or sitting there tapping. This is not...
Well, people do it all the time with the VGC. They're just sitting, touching buttons.
And that's tough to watch, bro. How many people actually watch that?
If you go to Pokemon's YouTube and you search like their World's Championship, it's actually exciting to watch those because of the announcers.
It's exciting because of the announcers. Yes. Now,
like I don't play competitive Pokemon VGC, but when you watch that, you're like, man, I could whip out my game and like start training Pokemon. But then you realize that there's like way too much to it, and no, I'm all set.
Hear me out now. So now let's put on our tinfoil hats a bit. And I'm going to take you guys down a deep, long, twisted road here of what potentially could be the future if I were John Hankey. Okay, picture this. You're at an event. You've got the stage set where, picture a stadium where you go to see a basketball game. You have the basketball court in the center. Everyone's 360 degrees around. That looks like a Pokemon battlefield, right? Now, everyone, when they go in, gets glasses. So kind of like you're going to a real 3D movie, something like that, you get these 3D glasses. But these are going to be AR glasses, right? So now, when you're watching, and these are pass-through glasses. So we're not talking about VR goggles where you're seeing a screen. You're seeing pass-through. So you're seeing what your eye organically sees, and there's going to be a projection of AR on the lenses of the glasses.
Oh, your imagination is so good right now. Okay, keep going.
All right. So now you're watching these 2 trainers on a battlefield, but then through the glasses, the Pokemon that they're controlling are projected in AR in a consistent, persistent AR space in front of the trainers, and the battle plays out in AR.
That'd be awesome.
So you're not...
That's unrealistic, but that'd be awesome.
But why is it unrealistic?
This sounds
It's
like
unrealistic.
Yu-Gi-Oh! With like they have
Because
the dual disc,
one,
put the
the
cards
amount
down.
of money the amount of money they'd have to invest in the technology to hand that out to every person that comes.
Yeah, but we're giving
to
it to them already.
Also, you'd have to create a custom stadium in order to.
You wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not viable. I don't think.
Okay, what they put fucking
an
hologram
awesome
Tupac
idea.
on the stage. What about hologram
Yeah,
Tupac?
but that's different. That's
Tupac.
yeah, it's Tupac, bro.
Yo, Biggie for life. Look, but what I'm saying is, this is where I think it would need to go. And this technology, who knows? This could be a year away. This could be 2 years away. This could be not reality. But I think that this was what this game would need. And when you talk about the funding by Axiomatic, the funding by Samsung and their gaming partners, and the acquisition of Escher Reality that works on persistent AR technology, and all these things coming together, it's like, man, if all the stars aligned and they somehow figured out a way to project or do something with AR on a grand scale, that would be a fucking game changer in the esports space at large. And
But
what
they can't
this
even
game
get
would
the
need.
AR right on a small scale right now. Think about, I just was able to do AR plus on my cell phone.
I know.
So,
I
I
know.
mean, your dream, like, it's cool. I mean, it's the radical idea. And I think that if that was an option, I think it would do awesome.
But I think, but what you said makes total sense. If it's just like my phone and your phone up on a jumbotron, like, that's not going to do it. That's not enough to make it compelling. Now, when I watch like the Nick from Trainer Tips and Mystic 7, doing a broadcast from their tournament, and they're doing like, a shoutcast on it, that's exciting. That's small scale stuff. I would love to watch that, on YouTube. But I'm saying, going as a spectator, I think the only way it would have enough hype behind it is if something with AR were to happen, where there's going to be a persistent AR presence of the Pokemon in an AR space that people can watch. I think that would be the only way. And I know League of Legends did something at one of their events where through their phones, people were able to hold their phones in front of them, and they had like dragons flying around in the stadium. So everyone persistently was using their handheld device. Now, it would be weird if people go as a spectator to go watch a Pokemon tournament and everyone's holding their phone up and using that as the portal to look, to watch the event. But I'm telling you, man, wearables, it's the future. It's the future. Don't
I ain't wearing
get
shit.
It's
I'm
the
telling you.
future.
But let us know. I brought this up in the Discord. It was pretty much the same kind of vibe. I know Unbreakable was saying like that it would be awesome if that was the case, because that's what would make it exciting. But I just don't know when that would happen or if that's the direction. But I'm telling you, big things are on the horizon with AR technology.
Yeah,
and
listen,
Niantic,
I just
so-
watched Holly's latest video where she's like, top secret. And basically, she doesn't give anything away, but she does like do the whole like kind of eye roll, and she's like, events, and more events. So
Well, we could kind of peek into this a little bit. So, did you see that other channels as well? So, Niantic flew all the YouTubers from the travel series back to San Francisco. So,
and some new people.
and some new YouTubers and content creators. They also brought Silph Road and Pokemon Go Hub out, and they had days and days and days of meetings and breakouts and all this stuff where the YouTubers obviously haven't, discussed it or talked about it, but the fact that they're bringing these community leads in and working with them directly, I think is a great sign, a great, great sign, because it's a direct connection to the community where you could have the greatest PR firm in the world, but there still could be some disconnect between the company and the user. And I think that the YouTubers and the community websites like Silph Road are the perfect conduit between a brand and their consumer. So,
But what about a podcast?
yeah, well, podcasts just aren't fucking there yet. Niantic!
Niantic, sponsor us.
No, it's
Fly us out there.
fucking Nutella sponsors. No, it's
Peanut butter sponsor us.
no. I think that
I don't care what brand.
any way you look at it, it's good that the content creators got together with Niantic, because I trust their voice. I trust them to have their finger on the pulse and speak their mind as far as what the community really wants, and not make it be like, where Brand X is just making these ridiculous decisions based on spreadsheets and not based on the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. But let us know what you think. Could PvP or Pokemon Go in any capacity be a spectator sport? Could it be an esport? Could it stand on its own at the Pokemon World Championships up against the TCG and VGC and frickin' Pokken Tournament? You know, could it be its own
just
pillar?
as big.
It's bigger. Are you fucking kidding me? The amount of Pokemon Go is the #1 generating property of all of Pokemon by like a ton. It would make sense that they
By a
incorporate
lick-a-ton.
it, by a fucking licky ton. What were you calling it? Licky Lily?
Licky Lily.
Yeah, ukulele.
But yeah,
Ukulele.
email us info@luredup.com. You could also leave us a voicemail at 732-835-8639. And you know what? While we're talking about the voicemails, we did get some messages this week. Now, I had put out a request asking for drunk voicemails. Now, I don't know, and I'm not going to assume that we got a drunk voicemail, but there's a good
I don't
chance.
think he was drunk.
I can't tell, man.
I think it was genuine and sincere.
So
reaching out for help.
So we got a voicemail, and it's 1 minute and 45 seconds long. So this isn't a quick voicemail, but I'm just going to play it for you guys, and I'll let you decide on your own.
Hello, is this on? Hello? This is Justin, the illustrious overseer from the Pokemon Go Radio podcast. A couple months ago, I got taken on as the contest director. At least that's how Silph and Starr announced it on the show. Turns out that that's not the case. I was abducted. I was kidnapped and have been in what looks like some form of prison cell for the past 3 months. And they stuck me in a little corner with a phone, and all I'm doing is helping them have contests, little competitions and stuff for the Discord and everything. It's a great time. Everybody's having fun. By the way, you should go to the Discord. I'm obligated to say that. But anyways, I need help. I've been trying to get help for a while, and nobody has been taking me seriously. So it's, it's fine. I mean, I get food and water on a regular basis. It's been a while since I've seen anybody, though. Sure, my family misses me. Anyways, oh crap, I think they're coming back. No, I gotta go. Hey, Noah, how's it going, buddy? So, how y'all doing? I gotta go, guys. Send help.
All right, so Justin, the illustrious overseer from the Pokemon Go Radio community, I hope you're okay, man. I sent you a care package.
It's gonna be dropped off by Spoofbot 2020.
Bro, so I listening to it again, it's like maybe he's not drunk. Maybe he really just has been abducted.
He's a poor minion to their wicked ways.
I can picture like Salt and Nar like rocking like a gimp suit, like, come on, it's time to build a raid party.
Oh my god.
Oh, but Justin, thanks so much for leaving us that message, man.
We will send our psychic waves of help.
We fucking laughed so hard listening to that, man. It was so funny. I jumped over into the Pokemon Go Radio's Discord. I was like, bro, are you good? Do you need bread and water? Like, are you okay? But be like Justin, the illustrious overseer. Leave us a voicemail, 732-835-8639. Totally funny.
Even if it's just you saying, hey, we'd still play it.
Here's your message. Hey. Oh, man. All right, some miscellaneous news before we get into our Palkia raid guide and battle party. Trainer Tips covered this in one of his videos. The Pokemon screen, now as part of the latest update, now shows separate move stats for raid and gym battles and PvP. This is kind of cool and kind of pointless. It's cool because it will show you the difference in damage output for the moves in either meta. If it's weather boosted, it'll show you that only will apply to the raid and gyms and not to PvP. But the problem with showing the output damage of the moves for PvP is it doesn't tell you how quick the moves are, how many turns they take, what the elapsed time is. So it's great that you see the damage, but it could, there could be a move that does, has a 7 damage where the other one has a 10 damage. You're going to think the one that does 10 damage is going to be better, but if the one that's 7 damage fires off twice as fast, so it's a little weird the way they did it, but I think for the casual masses, it's just an easier way for them to get a better understanding of, the moves being there being more than one meta in the game. So don't take it too deep because it's not that accurate, when you kind of try to align everything, but it is kind of cool that they're updating the screen, and I'm sure this will develop over time. We haven't done a full APK mine in a while, and the reason for this, I believe, is that because these updates are just coming so fast that you do an APK mine, and then by the time you cover it, it's already been adapted. It's already been updated again. So it's like there's just the shit is just flying so quick. And again, this kind of just conveys my sentiment of how Niantic is just keeping their foot on the gas and just not slowing down and not stopping, which, hey, man, I don't really give a shit. But
never-ending updates. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Artax!
Atreyu! Sorry, guys. I just had to.
All right, let's jump over to our Go Ranger check-in.
What's up, everybody? It is Go Ranger Matt, and this is the Go Ranger check-in.
Okay, so Palkia raids here for another 25 days from the time of recording this. Twilight Cup for Silph Road, same thing, 25 days till the end of the month. We still have the same research breakthrough, the 8 different Pokemon, legendary Pokemon that you can get from your weekly research breakthrough. That's going through the end of the month as well. So the end of February, you're going to see a lot of different stuff turn over, including Tier 5 Raid Boss, and then we're going to get a full research rollover as well. So another really cool thing that Go Ranger has done is they're keeping their shiny checklist updated. I am been swearing by the shiny checklist that you can build in Go Ranger. So if you haven't utilized their custom checklist feature, it's one of the coolest things in the game, especially if you're looking to, now that you're going to need like specific male, female of Pokemon. This is a good way to kind of keep track of that as well. Oh, and if anyone like me is lucky enough to have evolved a male Gardevoir at the time, you're now the recipient of a legacy transsexual Gardevoir, which is awesome because now I have male Gardevoir.
That's what I did with the Glalie and and the Gardevoir.
And the Gardevoir, yeah. But you did that before the update.
Well, I saw the update, like you were sending me those things, but I couldn't see it. Like I couldn't evolve, so I went into those 2 Pokemon and evolved them real quick before that happened.
When the update actually first launched, too, it even gave you the option to evolve a male Kirlia, and then when you tried it, it would look like you consumed the stone, and then it would say, this Pokemon could not be evolved due to an unseen error. So there was a little bit of a visual glitch there for a while, but they've since updated it. But anyway, yeah, utilize the custom checklist feature in Go Ranger. It's awesome, and
my favorite thing is going into the research encounters and then doing the search because I never know what the highest CP is for any of the research encounters, so
yes,
it's always nice to search and just be like, oh well, what's Bidoof?
I'm telling you, man.
He's 309.
You could become the expert in your community just by having Go Ranger open. People asking questions, and you can start pulling shit out of left field, like you know what the hell you're talking about. And it's like, thanks, Go Ranger.
Let me just double tap my home button real quick and check that out.
All right, let's get into this Palkia raid guide and battle party. And today I'm very excited
because it's a battle party.
We're not going to do.
And we're not going to do it.
No, we're not doing it.
We're
not doing it.
I'm doing it. Battle party. Ooh, ooh.
What?
We're not doing it.
How?
We have a special guest who left us a voicemail.
You didn't tell me this.
Pidgey Grabba, take it away.
Hey guys, it's the Pidgey Grabba. I just wanted to say, battle party, whoop whoop, battle party, whoop whoop.
Hell yeah, Pidgey Grabba! Thank you so
Yes.
much. That is so freaking cool.
So good.
Our community is the best.
Yo, if
you guys
love
rock.
you guys.
Yeah, I want more of this. I want you guys to do some battle party whoop whoops. Please leave it on the voicemail, and we'll feature your luscious, beautiful, lucid tones on the podcast. So awesome. But all right, we're gonna get into this Tier 5 raid boss. The rebound after the rebalance, 54,793 CP. It's a water dragon type Pokemon, meaning it is weak to dragon and fairy types. 100% catch will be 2280. Boosted in windy and rainy, 2850. So again, those two numbers you're going to want to worry about, 2280 and 2850. The best counters: Rayquaza, Dragon Tail, Outrage, Dragonite, Dragon Tail, Outrage, Palkia, Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor, Salamence, Dragon Tail, Draco Meteor. You could also use Latios, Gardevoir, Alolan Executor, Gyarados. Granbull is another good one, different fairy, if you want to stick some fairy stuff in there.
Togekiss.
I mean, Rayquaza is really your best bet. So depending on how many you have of those, that's really going to determine how viable you would be at being able to duo or trio this. Now, what I did is, if I'm going to try to duo this, which is possible in windy weather, if you have a stacked
Is this
party.
with the new update?
Yes, it's still possible.
Wow,
but you need
insane.
3 maxed out Rayquaza, 3 maxed out Dragonite. I could do it. I have that party built out. So I'm going to try that. Oh, yeah, Melissa's fucking making fucking jazz hands at me. She's like, ugh.
Oh, yeah, you think you can do it?
But I don't know. I want to give it a shot. But if I'm playing with a regular party, the last raid I did today, there was 20 people there. So we had a big ass group today. I was able, it afforded me to bring some diversity. So I brought a Rayquaza, a Dragonite, a Salamence, 3 dragons, and then I went 3 fairy. Gardevoir, I have 100% Wigglytuff and a Clefable, just for shits and giggles. So I brought 3 dragons, 3 fairy, nice, fair, and balanced, and still was able to put out some good damage, and then still use some Pokemon that, I would never bring out any other reason. But Adam, what do you got?
All right, I'm going to be bringing my 2 Rayquazas, 3 Dragonite, and my 100% Flygon.
Oh, shit. That's kind of cool.
With dragon moves.
No, that's cool. That's good.
Dragon style.
But I will say that when I rejoined the party for one of the battles that I did for one of my Palkias, it gave me the suggested Mawile, and it's my 100% maxed out, and it actually survived 2 solid hits. I was so impressed, and you could tell that it was doing damage too. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So that must have been part of the buff too.
All the raids I did today, I just brought all my dragons, and they would get fucking wiped so quick, so quick. If Palkia has Draco Meteor, forget it. Your dragons just will not last at all. But all right, Melissa, what do you got?
That's why my party is going to be good, because I'm going to bring 2 Dragonites and Gardevoir and 3 Snorlax with Outrage.
That's fucking hilarious. That is so funny. That's so good.
Because Outrage is one of the new moves that Snorlax can learn.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Now you're going to get that further diversity with moveset, and hey, man, not for nothing.
Does that make Melissa's party diverse?
Well, yeah,
because she just keeps. But
she's got a tank. But
I could just change my move.
Think about it though. That's not a bad. It's not a bad strategy, because you're going to have Draco Meteor does some serious fucking output, and it's not obviously normal Pokemon like Snorlax is going to take neutral damage. So it's like, hey, man. That's.
I just got schooled in the hard knocks.
It's not a bad.
I don't care who it is. I'm bringing snacks.
That's so awesome. So awesome.
That just makes me want to evolve my 100% Munchlax into Snorlax and then give it Outrage.
When Melissa was talking about using her Sinnoh Stone the other day, she was considering evolving up her Shiny Magby to Magmortar, and I was like, "Yo, don't do it. The Shiny Magby is way more rare than a Shiny Magmortar." I go, "You could find a wild Magmar." I go, "You're not going to find a wild Magby shiny." So it's like, you got to keep it.
True, but...
So instead, just evolve a second Electivire.
Yeah, exactly.
I still have to do our battles today. We still have to do our battles, so maybe we'll get another stone. That's pretty much going to wrap up today's show. A little bit of a quicker episode this week. There was a lot of news. We machine gun Kelly through it as per usual, but please email us, info@luredup.com. Check out luredup.com for everything that we're doing. One more time, our voicemail line, 732-835-8639. You can also send, pictures, texts, all that stuff. I'll get it all right to my phone. Please, the more inappropriate, the better. I am not scared. So just go for it.
Listen, I became an agent.
Oh,
Project Moose is a go.
Project Moose. Let's talk about this really, really quick. So we talked last week about everyone, should be playing Ingress so we can start, shaping the future of Pokemon Go. So Adam joined Ingress, and you love it, right, Adam?
I'm level 3. I'm still figuring it out. I'm at 40,000 out of 70,000 to get to level 4. But I joined, and the way Ingress works is that my name is the same in Pokemon Go, and so there are people that are in the Pokemon Go community that reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, I see you're playing Ingress."
Because there's an in-game chat in Ingress.
Yes,
so that's why they saw it.
And they're like, "So what's your goal? Do you actually want to play?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like learning how to play. It basically looks like Asteroids, just with like some color, which is cool, whatever. And so far I'm having fun, and I can abuse the Go Plus while playing Ingress. So I can hit the stops in Ingress and hit the stops in Pokemon. Yeah." But anyways,
oh my god, double dip.
I know I'm so bad, and I found myself doing that a little bit more. But long story short, they asked me, "Hey, what are you trying to do?" And I was like, "Hey, there's a moose at the end of my park. I'm literally like, my end goal is to reach level 10 and submit that as a stop." And then they went ahead and did that for me. So on Wednesday, after we recorded last Sunday, on Wednesday, they submitted it. They sent me the screenshot of the email, and they're like, "Hey, it has all the qualifications for a stop." So I was like, "Whoa, thank you, I appreciate it." But I'm still gonna play.
But no, so the moose has officially been submitted through Operation Portal Recon.
Yep.
So it's in the review process right now. So we'll keep everyone posted.
Ingress, there was just an update that said they're gonna be looking at portals that have been submitted. So I'm like, sweet, that means my portal might be submitted.
I'm telling you.
And I was told that it can take anywhere from a week to 2 months. So
I'm telling you,
hoping
by
Wednesday,
Project Moose. This thing's gonna turn to a Pokestop. We're gonna lose our fucking mind. I'm telling you, it's gonna be so awesome.
I am so excited because and honestly, I have Ingress open on my way home, just so I can, because I want to see it in Ingress first before I see it in Pokemon Go. Is that weird? Because I feel like I should hack it.
You owe it to the game to play in its natural form.
So even right now, I'll go into Ingress and I'll just kind of is it there yet? No, it's not.
Yeah, it was submitted last week. Give it some time.
I just keep touching that spot. I'm like, just give it to me. I'm touching that spot. They know I'm touching it.
Oh man! All right, guys. Anyway, yes, email us, leave us a message. Leave us a voicemail. Get at us on social media.
Yeah, voicemails are so. Emails are so yesterday. Voicemail us all day.
Isn't that ironic? Because isn't it usually voicemails are the passe thing, and email would be the new shit?
Listen, at work, I have to do cold calls all the time. It's annoying.
Bro.
People don't like talking on the phone. But leaving a voicemail, if you know that it's legit going to go to a voicemail and nothing else, I'll call that all day long. Give me a list of everybody's names that's on a voicemail. I'll call them.
I'm putting the call out now. I want some Battle Party Whoop Whoops. We'll feature you on the show. Please, give us a call. Battle Party Whoop Whoop. All right, but you guys got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Later, trainers.